Big debate. Should you clone your pet? Pet owners can now clone or create copies of their furry friends. But should they? Big debate. Should we clone pets? As you read, underline text that helps define the word cloning. Have you ever met a hero? David and Alicia Shearhart lived with one. His name was Marley, and he was their dog. In 2014, the married couple was hiking with Marley near their home in California. Suddenly, Marley clawed the ground. A rattlesnake was near Alicia. Marley scared away the snake. He might have saved Alicia's life. Sadly, the 12-year-old dog died 4 months later. David and Alicia loved Marley and were upset. Then David learned about Viagen. It's a company in Texas that clones animals. Cloning is the process of making a living copy of a plant or an animal. Viagen charges $50,000 to clone a dog. To the Shearharts, the cost was worth it. Last year, they welcomed Marley's clone, Ziggy, into their family. But many people think it's wrong to clone pets. Here are 2 views about cloning. Yes. Cloning allows families to honor pets that they love. Scientists created the first clone of a mammal in 1996. It was a sheep named Dolly. Since then, other types of animals have been cloned for many reasons. Researchers use clones of mice and other animals to study human diseases and search for cures. Farmers clone cows that produce more milk than others. For pet owners, cloning can ease the sadness of losing a favorite cat or dog. David Shearhart says cloning Marley helped him honor his dog's memory. I'm so excited that my daughters will be able to grow up with basically a twin of Marley, he says. No. Why choose expensive cloning when so many animals in shelters need homes? Cloning is complicated, and it involves more than just one animal. To clone a dog that has died, scientists mix a cell from that dog with a cell taken from a living dog. Together, those cells make an embryo. The embryos often don't grow well, so the scientists may need to start over. That can be stressful for the living animals, says Jessica Pierce. She teaches at the University of Colorado. Pierce thinks it's wrong to spend thousands of dollars to clone a pet when you can adopt one from a shelter. Also, a cloned pet may look like the original, but it might not act the same way. Even if the original dog was friendly, the clone might bark at everyone it sees. What's your opinion? Vote here. How does cloning work? 1. Scientists cut a small piece of skin from a dog. From that piece of skin, they take a single cell. 2. In a lab, scientists mix that cell with a cell from a living dog. Together, those cells make an embryo. 3. The embryo is placed inside a female dog. It grows inside its new mother. 4. About 2 months later, a puppy is born. This puppy is a clone. Milestone in October. 100 successful rocket launches. Its rockets have carried satellites, supplies, and people into space. Here are SpaceX's successful launches since 2016 by year. Year launches: 2016, 8. 2017, 18. 2018, 21. 2019, 13. 2020, 20. After you read.
Hi, my name is Manat Kaur. I'm here with Scholastic Kids Press. Today we're at SpaceX. It's out of this. Hi, my name is Manat Kaur. I'm here with Scholastic Kids Press. Today we're at SpaceX. It's out of this world. As a kid reporter, I get to investigate many subjects, like SpaceX, a company in California that designs, builds, and launches rockets and spacecraft. Rockets are massive, complex machines. They've been used for space exploration since the 1950s. They're the only vehicles powerful enough to escape Earth's gravitational pull. But so far, no one's built a rocket that can take humans to other planets. SpaceX is one company that is trying to change this. Its goal? To get humans to Mars and back. Recently, I got to visit the SpaceX factory. I met Gwen Shotwell, the company's president and an engineer.
Hi, I'm Gwen Shotwell. I'm President and Chief Operating Officer of SpaceX. So at SpaceX, we're building both rockets and spaceships. The rockets that we're flying right now are the Falcon 9 rocket and the Falcon Heavy rocket. And within a couple of years, we'll be flying the big Falcon rocket, BFR. We're also building spaceships. The Dragon spaceship we're flying right now to and from the International Space Station. And in just a few years, we'll be flying the big Falcon spaceship, which is part of the BFR rocket system. And BFR and the big Falcon spaceship will be the initial ships that take people to Mars.
To successfully launch a rocket, you need to accelerate fast enough to escape Earth's gravity. This is known as escape velocity. It is achieved by burning liquid rocket fuel and oxygen to create thrust, a force that pushes an object.
The thrust has to be heavier than the weight because you have to fight gravity. So a rocket whose thrust is less than its weight can't get off the pad.
The Falcon Heavy rocket is the biggest rocket currently flying. It weighs more than 3 million pounds and can lift more than 70 tons into orbit. Like other SpaceX rockets, one of the Falcon Heavy's most important features is that it's reusable. This is critical for creating a rocket that can make a round trip to Mars.
So in order to get to Mars and back, you have to have these rockets and spaceships be reusable. Right now, outside of SpaceX, after the rocket is used, it gets thrown away. And so if you took people to Mars, that might be super great, but you couldn't bring them back. In order to have a round trip ticket, you got to make sure you can get there, reuse the system, and come back. When you bring the rocket back after the mission, you get to examine it and inspect it and see how it did. And if you have weak points in the vehicle or in the rocket, then you can redesign that particular part.
Another big feature on SpaceX rockets is that they use a technique called propulsive landing. In this method, they use the engines to slow the rocket down for landing. The rocket ships have landing legs, which fold out and lock in place on descent. These help rockets land precisely on the ground or on a drone ship in the Pacific Ocean.
So it has to land very precisely because the ship is actually not very big, not compared to the rocket.
Not all rocket launches go as planned. Sometimes they fail. Yet these experiences are the most helpful to engineers.
People learn far more from their failures than they do from successes. You tend to have a success, walk away, think about the next thing, and not think about all the things that could have gone wrong. When you have a failure, you know exactly what went wrong, and you go in and you fix that part of the system. Engineers are never satisfied. They always want to play with the design or tweak the design or test the design or reanalyze the design. STEM fields are changing the world. They have in the past and they will in the future. So be part of that.
Meeting a STEM superstar like Gwen Shotwell was something I'll never forget. Thanks for joining me on my tour of SpaceX. Maybe next time, I'll see you on Mars.
Popular pets in America. What type of pets are popular in the U.S.? A recent poll asked households with pets what kind of animal they have. Check out this graph to find out more of their pets bark, meow, or chirp. Okay, so about how many more households have dogs than cats? So you have to do a little bit of subtracting here. So find out how many have dogs and how many have cats. And you need to subtract the dog's number to the cat's number to find out the answer. According to the graph, how many types of animals are in more than 10 million households? So if we look at this graph right here, it says number of households in millions. So they're not talking about there's only 10, 20, 30 dogs. This is 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. So how many of these animals are more than 10 million in a household? So here's 10 million. How many cross that line? True or false? Reptiles are in fewer. True or false? Reptiles are in fewer than 6 million households. Okay, so let's look at reptile. And are they fewer than 6 million? Is there less than 6 million in people's homes? This one I'll have to zoom up a little bit so you can see. So the line's right there between 0 and 10. So is that more than 5? More than 6 or less than 6?